Good evening, friends. The latest news that Deepti has been receiving, she can't give the details as yet, but her diary revelations from SSR's diary has brought about some response from certain quarters. And this is something that the world cannot ignore. And also the fact that some mainstream channels have also contacted her, with regards to this. Anyway, what Deepti ji is doing is that she is giving the kind of information that will ultimately lead to justice for Sushant. This is what we are all praying for. So, as before Deepti, before we start, welcome. First of all, welcome to you.
Thank you, Meenaji.
Yeah. Before we start, Deepti, I'll just give a small information on the Mahabhi Kasagari's meeting with the Prime Minister. So I'll just mention that and then we can go on to the diary. Yes? Okay. Friends, after Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray and PM Modi's one-on-one meeting created a buzz, the Shiv Sena said that it was only always a sort of a valued personal relation and it is on a personal note and all. We all know that this is not so. Ever since the new CBI director has come in, the MBA has become fearful that a lot more secrets will be out in the open, which is good for us SSR warriors. The one-on-one meeting with Modi ji was also attended by Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar and Minister Ashok Chavan, an emissary from each of the MBA party. This comes close on the heels of the vociferous hatred that they had spewed on the Prime Minister with regards to the handling of the COVID situation. So, friends, this I see it as a positive note because these three people seem to be completely rattled. I'm talking about the three parties which are working in coalition in Maharashtra. So, this is one news that we can take as a bit on the positive side. Okay, Deepti, viewers are waiting patiently, impatiently for your diary, this thing reading. So let us start straight away with that, Deepti.
Okay. All right.
Yesterday we had spoken about that you would speak about the NGO.
Salman Khan.
Yes, yes.
Before that, I would like to mention another thing wherein something about Sarah Ali Khan is also mentioned. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then I will.
I think is it the one that you've already read before?
No,
about Saif
her, oh yes, I think
yes.
I have already read.
That is done. Yeah, that is done. Yeah.
Okay, that's already done, right?
Yeah, that's done. Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the one with Sridevi ji is mentioned?
Yes, I think that is also, that also we've said, yes.
Okay. Because in this slide there is mention of Asif and Sandeep as well. So,
oh, is it? Okay, then please go ahead with that. Yeah, go ahead with that. Yeah.
Okay. So the next aspect of the case would revolve around the connections between Bollywood, sport, and the underworld. I still remember it like yesterday, when the meetings of the Producers Guild happened to discuss the death of Sridevi ji. I was not able to attend the meeting physically, but one telephone call changed my entire perspective of the industry I worked for, and I am continuing to work for. Back then, I felt that the way things were explained to me, I was definitely under the impression that was not accidental drowning case, but the biggest confusion that remained in my mind and continues to remain is why is the family silent? This was the first shock on my conscience, but what could be done? I'm just mentioning about this to make people aware that what I have done is not a joke. But the fact is that I am doing this only for myself, because my conscience is making me do this. Kindly don't misunderstand me or anything, as I very clearly would want to make the reader who is reading this to understand that when the family is not interested in pursuing the case, what could I do? This made me do a lot of research around the same, which helped me reach to the roots of this cabal and conclude that this is real, filthy, and deep. The connections are connected. The connections the connected industries have is filthy and deep and closely connected to each other. and this will be covered in a separate disc where I will do a detailed analysis on the same. And thing is as simple as this. We three people, myself, Asif ji, and Sandeep, we will work on each of these aspects, which I shall explain in detail in the next part of this discussion. But before that, let me explain the total context on the various aspects that I am going to cover. This detailed analysis will be explained very, very carefully because the real heroine slash hero in real life is Sridevi ji, and we all are nothing but mere pieces of paper in front of her. I'm not sure what is the news that is out in social media platforms out that a team is doing its bit for the purpose of getting justice for the noble soul. But I am not sure whether I should take help to reach out to this team and share infos that we got as a mandate from the Producers Guild. I will do my bit of research around this and will definitely try and get in touch with the team if my life is written that long. Anyone reading this, please don't get confused about what I was up to. But the real catalyst that did the role of filling my conscience with questions was the death of Sridevi ji, which later started making a lot of sense when there came out some reports which made complete and total sense for me to conclude that what I as a human being was thinking all this while was true. And my conscience is clear as pure water, despite whatever is the situation I'm facing. Since the time I started looking into these deaths, I would conclude this segment on the following notes. Every death that has closed as mysterious is most probably a cold-blooded murder which was brushed down the carpet with influence, status, power, and money. Okay, and yeah, I will come to the slide where we have the first mention of being human. Okay, Minaji? Yeah. The decisions you take with a composed mind after you have known everything actually streamlines the whole process. I don't know, correction, no, what future holds for me in store, as I have already done enough damage to myself. But when someone who reads this starts, I want to request and to ensure the person whoever lays his hands on this, if he is the angel according to my description earlier, to hold on, wait, not to trust anyone, and to go about this in his own way and follow what I did when I was left alone and in the company of a very few friends. Close your eyes and just keep breathing without any thoughts coming into your mind. Any thought that comes, don't continue on it. Repeat this for 2 minutes max. And the answer that comes from within, when your mind has exhausted its capacity to stop thinking, is the best advice on how you have to proceed in this fight. If you are the devil of my description, your journey ends here, my friend. This would fetch you enough money to have a casual lifestyle for all the days your entire clan can live on the face of this earth. But Mahadev, who is watching all this, has his own unique style to pay you back. All the best. The biggest reason being human was formed will be explained in detail in the slides to follow. But yes, be aware not to believe even for a split second that it was for Salman Khan to have a clean image. Having a clean image is just 0.001% of the whole story. When was it formed? The process began in late 2005 and was finalized in 2007. These 2 years hold great value for the catastrophes that happened in these respective years. 2004 to 2005, relief activities of tsunami. 2007, Hyderabad blasts. Do some research of your own for now before you get to the detailed analysis of my reports on who are the funders, people who are funding, not to be confused for founders of being human. And you will be able to find a lot of answers. These answers you find will help you better relate to the findings of mine. You will lay your hands on when you reach the slide you should, then the action you need to take becomes even the more easier because you have lived the entire happening in your mind. And by then have also realized and prepared for all the dangers you would face and encounter in the path. I have made my effort, and your reading means I am not here in this world. But my work shall guide you as a shield, and my team shall stand with you during all adversities. Come what may, truth has to win. Humanity has to prevail. And my heart says truth will win, and it's truth, and it's only truth that will prevail. Before I get to the point where I in detail explain on what purpose did it solve, I would request you before you read the next slide, um, take your mind what all you can derive from this and what would you write for the question number 3 if I had not given out in detail exact purpose did it solve. The angel reading this will definitely do the research, and it will take at least 24 hours for the research to continue and for the person to get to his answers. But the devil would definitely want to continue from here. But before you decide what you want to do, I would, and your chapter continues. My conscience speaks. The subject on NGOs wouldn't be complete without special mention to being human. And the biggest reason why Salman Bhai took to me all guns blazing. The 3 questions I would want you to analyze is why was it formed? When was it formed? What purpose did it solve? Why was it formed? Complaints of physical abuse on women, too much alcoholism, and issues of domestic violence started making rounds. People who were with Salman supported him on most of these, trying to make sure nothing came out. But one family which had all the grudge against Salman, I will be coming back to this later with the connections that can be made, wanted to see him down. And the cases of Aishwarya Rai and some other actors, if you follow their connections, Aishwarya Rai was connected in one way or the other to them, started making rounds. Salman Bhai is the major link in most of these white collar crimes and has been an integral part in the crime syndicate. And also the bunch of people who are experts in putting people with a difference of opinion to rest. It is no secret of the friendship Salman Khan shares with Sanjay Dutt. Now try and see which was the last movie of Divya Bharti which released just 10 days before her death. Kshatriya it is. Now the analysis and assumptions. Whatever you want to make are ready and explained in detail in the future slides. This is just one instance I have quoted and don't want to bring it out in detail here. Why he is the most respected figure in the industry today. The blackback case on him was registered because he was in a relationship with the daughter of the Maharaja of Rajasthani lineage. I had explained this earlier, but this forms an important connection to the formation of being human. Hence, I feel I need to make this reference here. His image got tarnished to such an extent that there were a lot of legal implications coming hard on him. And it's due to the same old trick of blackmailing. Someone close to this family is believed to be given this idea of being human. The main reason many believe is to make him a clean image for all the things that were running against him. But this is not the case. A comment passed on Yaqub Menon made me go back and rework on certain things. And that's when I got to real reason why being human came into existence. Not to add suspense to it or to keep you confused or in the dark at this juncture, you are not knowing the whole story or are not equipped to go ahead and take this fight to that level. The only reason you are getting to read this is because I no longer am here. And you who is reading this will be the torchbearer of how this fight should continue. A honest man with honest intentions definitely will lose his cool and his peace of mind and will end up committing a mistake. So let's go about it the way I went through it. And the future slides, when you read them, you will for sure know that the actions you make in haste or an agitated mind invites enemies and gets you exposed. And your chapter starts, My Conscience Speaks. Okay. So,
Deepti, yeah. I think,
Vinajay,
see, yeah. One point is that viewers, please note that certain mentions will be repeated. So she has, the right, Sushant would have repeated some things from an earlier chapter. So it's not that she's reading it again and again, And if you have seen it in some other channel, that's different. Please try to follow what is going on in our channel. I mean, if you've seen it somewhere else, those are other excerpts. So please kindly bear with Deepti and try not to disturb her, flow of thoughts. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm just waiting for Deepti to come back with another excerpt. Meanwhile, friends, please try to understand. For those who feel that, see, this is not true, you are always at a liberty not to follow it. This is totally up to you. See, if you feel that, see, whatever she's saying is not true, that's, you are at liberty whether you want to watch the channel or you don't want to watch the channel. But our viewers, most of our viewers want to hear it, and that's why we are all here. Thank you so much. Yes, Deep. Back.
Okay. Welcome back now. That you have reached here and successfully opened this, honestly speaking, you are 10% genuine to me so far in your journey. In continuation to the Taj attacks and the tragedies that happened around this time, there are recorded transfers being made from the basis of my investigation around being human. And also, I quote this actually opened up my eyes on how many people I could trust and how many people are in my life to make a mess of it. Enjoy my popularity, just have fun with me and around me, and those who actually want to help and support me. Now, let me start the episode of this topic around the being human and other NGOs and give detailed introductions around this so that you can have some subject matter handing when you intend to proceed with your research. My research should not be everything for you, but just be a part of a teacher around your research. Now, the first step I took towards finding out where does the root of the problem lie was to get close to the workers, the laborers, the house helps, the drivers, and the handlers of Salman Bhai. And then I found out how exactly to implement these into action. Such is his name, and the fear around his name that even by mere hearing of it, peeps back off. And that became a big, big, big headache for me. But the breakthrough came when Arjun started a relationship with Malaika Arora. And it was just a matter of time and some bottles of whiskey, which helped me to get to the roots of what exactly is in store for this issue and the research in the path I need to make and select for me to proceed further in my goal towards attaining the papers and the documents to expose the man, the devil in the skin of an angel. And you should now exactly know who I am referring to. These recorded transfers to expose the these recorded transfers I was talking about earlier opened up an entirely different angle, wherein the fact was that the founder and the funders were hand in glove with the people who planned these attacks. And most of the money that helped with the funding of these attacks happened through the collection of some movies, the amount getting transferred to the account of Being Human, and from Being Human into the accounts of the people who were selected for the job. These transfers will still take time as on date, and I'm sure this will take a lot of time, yet unsure if I would live up to that time, where we can actually crack the destination from where it came and the source to whom it went. International legalities should be pressed on Swiss Bank and the Manhattan Bank and some more banks whose complete working modules I have explained in the slides to continue, because these are the banks that play a major role in helping out these crooks based on the patterns of their encryption and also to hide the source of the transfer. Advanced methods of maskings are used, and it would take at least a lifetime to crack into them. And as all of us know, the Swiss Bank is pretty strict with their personalization policy and hence are tough nuts to crack. Have assigned this task to someone and shall update it in detail here once I am done. I would again request the reader not to think I am telling a story, but the fact is, every word written, every point explained, unless you understand the entire fact and the story around it. As of it, on the face value of it, this is against the biggest cabal. And the only way to stop it is to keep your steps in silence and march ahead like you know nothing. No noise made, and the hit given is the best way out. Now, when Arjun started dating Malaika, I started to spin my web. The first step here was to play on the mindset of Arbaz Khan. I went up to him and asked him his help by telling him that if he wants to teach Arjun a lesson, he needs to trap Boni Kapoor in cricket betting. I was advised to just see and listen to the facts around it. But he will only give me the files only after I prove my loyalty to him. But alas, did he know, or my camera could speak. The first three buttons on my shirt was mic, cam, and recorder. And I have recorded the entire conversation and have it converted to PDF and other formats to store for you to lay your hands in the future when you get going with this investigation. Arbaz actually opened up his laptop and was explaining the files to him. And my cams were silently recording the whole thing. By God's grace, I was able to carry this out that day. The initial set of information I wanted, I was amidst some real action happening and collecting solid information. Though I didn't want to do it, but my next target was Alvira Khan. I got very close to her because of Jacqueline Fernandez. And during one of these wild parties, which these women have, and a lot of questionable bonding happens, since I am not sure who would be reading this, I have used the most decent word. If you can actually relate to this, would say this is something a woman does. This is something a woman does when she takes on the role of a man, or rather, let me say, this is a all-women party, and only select men are entertained. I approached Alvira when she was high on drugs, and that day I had a shock of my life when I found out that the man who portrays himself as the Bacha of the Bollywood industry is nothing lesser to Gulam. The culture he has taught to his kids, where is our society heading to? Why are values vanishing so fast? Why are values vanishing so very fast? Getting into a relation and getting out of it is become like changing from boxers into jeans pants and from jean pants into night clothes. Through Alvira Khan, I found out that the movies that were made before and after the Taj attacks and the movies that followed based on the themes around the Taj attacks by default have to pay a royalty of 30% to the underworld. And most of these transactions happen from the Being Human account and also the Being Human goodies collection too. To stand as a strong evidence to this, an account registered on the name of Being Human in ICICI Marine Drive's branch was closed down just a month before the attack. And this same account has incoming and outgoing transfers to the likes of Nirav Modi, Lalit Modi, Farooq Lambu, and Shera. This man Shera should be the prime target if in case any investigation around Salman Khan has to be done. Because this person has a lot of information and this person is very safely guarded. And this person is the person who knows a lot of dirty secrets around Salman Khan too. Now, this is one angle. There are various connections that are attached to threats like this, and these threats thrive in Bollywood. Examples as follows. When Dharmendra ji was already married to Prakash Kaur ji, he got married to Hema Malini. No one in the family accepted Hema Malini ji, and Dharmendra ji was very well aware of the legal implications he would face and also the financial turmoil he would go through if he marries Hema Malini ji without divorcing his first wife. Here, Dharmendra ji converts to Islam and marries Hema Malini ji. But the entire family hates it. Now, the interesting subject that got my attention is that after years of marriage, it is Sunny Deol who plays the mediator and tries to patch up with the family and Hema Malini ji. The reason remained amused to me till the day I found out that Hema Malini ji has illegally acquired lands in and around Mumbai and Punjab and other places in India. And both the junior Deols are well aware of it. The reason the patch-up happens and Hema Malini ji joins politics, followed by Sunny Deol, is as simple because Sunny and Hema ji have worked hand in glove in many crimes. I have documented evidences for all the instances recorded and also in detail, know with the dates and time around what exactly has happened and how it has happened. Now, the interesting angle, probably, which people might think I have written it down for controversy, but the thing goes like this: not just Sanjay Dutt, but all these powerful families in the Bollywood always have had weapons with them and also have hidden their dirty family secrets and have buried them deep, deep down in their own backyard. But while you go through these files and folders and understand each point very clearly, one thing that will remain stand out is the connection. If I would explain it in the following angles. 1. Their dirty secrets. 2. Their agendas. 3. How they use their money and status. 4. What happens when someone goes against them. 5. Information collection points and sources who can testify. 6. Documents within brackets main drive Kala Sach. Due course of reading you shall reach there. 7. Some dirty truths.
Yeah.
Okay, Minaji, would you like to say something here in between?
Yeah.
And if
Some of the things that you read are quite shocking because the people who are mentioned in this excerpt have very pristine, clean images, and what they portray in public life is totally different from what they are in private. So these are all very big revelations that he's talking about. So please continue. This is very clear, so you can continue.
okay.
Yeah.
At this juncture, all I want to write is read every word, every letter as a sentence, because till you understand and digest it as you have lived it yourself, you are bound to get confused. And your confusion can lead to diversions and shaken belief systems. And this can lead you to the mistakes I made, which I don't want you to do. The biggest key to all your answers is to see the business module of these people. The last slide you read, I had mentioned about the Diol family. I'm sure one question would have struck you then and there, but because you are reading this and not talking to anyone, you couldn't ask, despite you wanting to. Let me pose the question out first and then answer it myself. If this question had struck you, you have your answer. If it didn't, you can continue with the reading. I repeat it again here. When you would be reading this, I would have been gone. And there is one team of mine which will get in touch with you in the due course of time. Question: if Dharmendra ji wanted to marry Hema Malini, he could just have divorced his first wife and marry Hema Malini. Why didn't he do that? What was the reason he had to convert to Islam or marry Hema Malini without divorcing his first wife? Answer: what happens in Bollywood most of the times is that in order to save taxes, in order to show losses, in order to ensure that the entire game is played in such a way that there is no headache on oneself, what most of these people do is involve their better halves into the business and make them the partners for a greater share in their companies or for the company on the name of their better half. I don't need to go back and quote an instances which is visible and as crystal clear to the naked eye where the spouses of Bollywood actors are producers or own companies generating huge profits. This arrangement sometimes backfires because the image they have and the urge they want to satisfy when these clash, all such issues happen. And if you watch a clothes trend, though I don't want to be religious, you'll find that most of the Khans have Hindu wives. And these are the Hindu wives who go away silently, but that is not the case all the time, and this is one of the very very special case in Bollywood where the wives hold the husband by the neck. There is another instance of the same incident happening, and I shall give a detailed verdict of it sometime later in one of the follow-up slides. But the thing you need to understand here with the context of these duels is that There was no other option for Dharmendra ji but to leave his money or convert to Islam and marry Hema ji. And for you to actually understand the way the man was head over heels in love with the woman, all you need to do is to watch the interview of the movie Sholay, which is out on public domain, where the crew have explained Garam Dharam's lust for Hema when the scene where he teaches her to fire a pistol was purposely mistimed and a whole day was wasted around it because Dharam was using it as an excuse to touch Hema and roll around her. I put my point of view here, and I know that I might be wrong. But sometimes women too become business oriented. This might be love concern and also can be judged as a matter of the fact that Prakash Kaur ji did not want this to have negative impact on her sons. But my question to myself is how can a woman see her husband in the arms of another woman? And despite all the years of hate and patch up, how could they come back together and live like a family again? The answers I found a little later is for these people. They don't care what happens behind the doors. Some controversy which comes out in front of the public, the only thing they care is their image, their status in the society, the success of their files, their endorsements in the market, and also the most important point, the faces they keep. How many times I have seen all the three Khans eat, sleep, and drink together. But to the media and to the purses of the producers, these hate each other. I have learned a lot of lessons with one hosting I did. As the matter will go out of context and there is every possibility of you getting confused, I will get back to it another independent I will get back to it in another independent chapter of the Cine Awards, but will definitely give a tip off here. And the tip off is the Amir Divya Bharti fight. Check it up on the net and you will get the story how Amir declined to perform with Divya in an award show and how Salman came to her rescue and chipped in instead. This might look as a real fight, but the agenda behind it was something else. Salman has his style of selecting heroines. Shah Rukh has his style for the same. So does Amir. You might be confused why I am wrote three names in three sentences when the sentence could just be one. The reason is simple. Each of these people have their own style and these are three different scenarios, three different cases, and each of the case should be handled individually. Since there is no much space left in this slide, I would prefer to get the modus operandi of all these three in one slide or max cover it up in two. Let me finish this slide with a hint. Divyaji was slowly and steadily gaining popular and never was the casting couch kind of material. She was one who never cared whether she got a role or not, but was always worried only about what she was doing, why she was doing, and is she satisfied with what she is doing? Dirty Secrets, My Conscience Speaks. Meeraji, we have covered a lot of material today. I would want you to, yeah, say something, discuss something.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. Again, see, there is a mixed response from the viewers. Some, of course, coming from, I'm sure, PR sources, and some perhaps from some other, sources, which say that they do not, agree that this diary excerpts are true. But we are just ignoring that because that's not what we are here for. We're here to listen to these excerpts, and whatever at the moment you're reading is giving out a lot about what happens, backstage in Bollywood. So it's a lot of truth that people don't know about. If this all comes out and it's verified and all that, then Deepti, you're creating a real storm with this, these readings.
I am just putting forward what I have come across, and I'm
Exactly.
not thinking much about it. And I'm not thinking much about it because, say, listen, I, as a responsible citizen, I did my duty. I tried to hand them over to the agencies. But when I couldn't, despite trying twice, I decided to put the content in the public domain because then it will be recorded.
Yeah.
There is no way it can be tampered or deleted or hidden. because once it goes to the agencies, I mean, somehow nothing comes out.
Yeah. Also,
And these, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Also, Deepti, see, one thing the viewers should understand is that, see, there are a million forces that are working against us. So to as to suppress
exactly.
the Sushant, murder case. Now there are also 100 others who are working to prove that this is a murder and how it was done. So see what you are doing, what we are doing, what other people are doing. These 100 people who are coming together, who are doing it. See, we are all one force. And see, if you look at Sushant Singh's life, Sushant Singh was a believer of lordship. See, he was not a just an ordinary man. He had a lot of spiritual qualities, and I'm sure once the soul goes off, there must be another mission for the soul as well. So we're all here together to make sure that this happens. See, for example, the day he died, Sushant died on 13th or 14th. See, it is from that day we have started working. Why would any normal person want to give up everything else, his work and everything, to dedicate their time to solve this mystery? They do it because they also have some moral values and ethics that they pursue, and they feel that a lot of injustice has been done, and that's why you and me and many of these people who are watching us are here for. Isn't it, Deepti?
Yes, yes, Minaji. If there are any questions, I would like to answer
No,
them
it's
for
okay,
about
because the
5 or
questions
10
are all,
minutes.
I don't want the questions to divert you from what you're saying. They may come from here and there. So it'll be something like Ria or something. So please continue with your.
Okay, okay. So I have covered most of the things that I have come till now. Just give me a
Yeah,
minute, please.
yes.
Did I cover about Mumbai Indians Foundation,
No, I don't think you
Minaji?
covered that. No, no, no. You've spoken about IPL and what goes on behind stage, but not about this, I think.
Okay. The formation of Mumbai Indians Education for All was made so that this can be used as that platform where all the money comes in as donation, and this money has no legal implications altogether. There is one huge angle, and let me explain it in a very simple language like this. There were other foundations too under Reliance. But this organization, there is evidences in this, but that will reach you later. But this introduction will definitely help you connect instantly on those documents, but I'm not sure if any action will ever be taken. But yes, the greater angle of clearing the society from this mess, this document will play a very, very vital role. So, getting back to the topic now, there are two modes of donation: straight donation and rotation donation.
Deepti, I think you've covered this part because two or three
Yes,
people have.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So we'll move on to
Yes,
another one.
yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Shobha.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I also thought that I had covered that.
I think what we can do, Deepti, is before we do the next session, we'll just mark the ones that you've done so that we don't get into that.
Yeah, I'd be like, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
we'll
yes.
do that. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, Taj attacks we have covered, I think so.
Yes, actually, we are moving on to another clip. So please bear with us. See, many of you are asking, is there any video evidence? Now, see, these are only excerpts from the diary, which she is now decoding. So I don't think there are any videos here. So that part will not apply. Perhaps it will be there in the future. I'm not sure. So let us just follow her patiently.
See, there
Yes.
are slides, there are videos, there are documents. Of course, there are there, but again, bringing them out in the public domain, I will definitely like to bring it out in the public domain if the public can ensure that action happens on that. Okay. It should not be a waste. See, because there are many options here, Vinaji. There is
Yes.
risk. There is risk involved. Okay. So not only that, people are also trying to buy the silence.
Yes.
Okay. And here I have just decided to make people aware of what Sushant was up to and why was he
Mm.
murdered. Exactly the
Yeah.
reason. Okay.
Yes.
And I have even come across some people asking these silly questions like, did he document who the culprits are, who the murderers are? How can he
Yeah.
document who the murderers are when he, I mean, like, after,
When he has not
I mean,
even
after,
gone.
yes, I mean, after he, once he is dead, how can he document the names of the
Yeah.
murderers?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay. Anyway, so as there are many pages to write on this man and the different issues and different, I'm sorry, as there are many pages to write on this man and the different times he had slipped and the controversies that were hit, this deserves a different chapter. And I have maintained
No, Deepti, you are talking about which person?
Salman Khan.
Ah, okay. Yes. Continue. Yeah.
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 And I have maintained one won't be discussing it anytime soon. Because I have to be careful of the devil who, if gets hands on these documents, can use it for anything and gain a lot from these for his selfish motives. Salman Khan, from his relationships to his abusive nature, from the portrayal of the Garibon Ka Devta, man with a golden heart for the poor, to the Bhaijan of Bollywood. Name the controversy you have, this man right up there as the front runner. And moreover, the angle of giving the much needed break, the kids of the Bollywood stars. If in one word I should pen down how nepotism is bred in the Bollywood industry, Salman Khan has a major role to play in it. The monopoly these people want to maintain in the industry and the tricks they play is the biggest dirty secret of the Bollywood industry and is one of the main reasons why real talents often feel left out. This doesn't mean talents don't sustain, but the journey for an outsider and the journey for someone from the cult is like sky and earth. And moreover, to act in the movies, no one gives a damn to your talent. All you need to have if you want to be a heroine is the slim, trim figure and the bomb kind of image. And the industry these days go behind the skin than the talent. Small examples are you see a lot of overseas dancers in the backdrops. But have you ever thought why? If you think this is coincidence, no my friend, you're wrong. This is a big trap setup which can give three solutions to everyone. Drugs. These foreign models are very easy carriers because they often go undetected, untouched, and the clothing they wear, the eyes that need to take action on and do the checking, are actually elsewhere. And 80% of the times, they can actually easily get away. And these models, too, themselves, most of them savor it. And hence, it becomes even the more easy because all that is needed to be done is feed them some, they take care of the rest. And these people, trust me, are loyal and get the job done perfectly. My fingers shiver when I type this. But if this has to stop and the right culture has to come back, some hard realities have to be penned down. And yes, though I am not at all, even for a fraction of a second, comfortable doing this and assassinating the character of women or people, which I have never done, nor I have liked or wanted people to do.
Yeah. Actually, I've
So
always, I've always thought, Deepti, that why do they bring in all these foreign dancers? Because our dancers are even more graceful than them. So why do we have all these group dances by foreign dancers? Now, I think you've answered that question through this
yeah,
video.
he has answered. Yes. So I would like to cover another few more chapters
Yeah,
here.
please,
Oh,
please.
just a couple. So I will
Yeah,
make sure that there are some names involved. Okay,
yeah.
just give me a couple of minutes.
Yes, please. viewers, again, a lot of questions about people like Ekta Kapoor and others. See, what is there in the diary, she will read out. This is not something that she is concocting. These are things that are already, there in his diary. So it's only, whatever she is, uncoding, that she is reading. So let us be patient and give her the time, to read it out. Just be patient. See, also one thing, viewers, you need to bear in mind. See, a lot of the information that Deepti ji is reading now is that, see, is information that we did not know. See, we have been trying to put things together like a, jigsaw puzzle. But these are, we did not have any facts in our hands. But here is a person who's talking about the real happenings behind Bollywood. So it's very important to listen carefully and stop, interrupting with any sort of negative comments. Thank you, Deepti ji. Please continue.
Yes, Minaji, because
Yeah.
until and unless we cover everything that is there to be covered, I mean, it will be too quick to jump into
Yeah,
conclusions
yes,
and ask
absolutely.
questions. Why is
Yes.
mention of Rihanna out there? And some
Yeah.
people have even come insinuating that I am the PR of Thai, okay, because I
Ah,
am trying to implicate Ankita.
yeah, yeah,
It's not that.
yeah.
I mean, at least they should
Yes.
wait till the
Yeah.
entire thing is complete before making any kind of
Exactly.
judgments.
Yeah.
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 Okay. So let us
Yeah.
continue.
Yes.
In order to play into her psyche and make her believe and get played into the trap, which could actually make her feel did she really belong to the industry, while another supported her and got her totally confused, there was one award function where Divya was supposed to do a dance with Amir, and Amir ditched her.
I
It,
think
we have
this
covered it.
one, yeah, we
Have we
have
covered
covered. Yeah.
Shah Rukh Khan? Did we? No, it's a repeat, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. We've
No, no,
already
no.
covered.
We haven't. Have we covered
Oh,
when Shahid and Shahrukh took a dig
no, no, no. We didn't
on
that.
him?
I think this is just a repetition, a little bit of, yeah. So please
Yeah,
continue.
it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and Amir ditched her in the last minute, only for Salman to step up and act the savior. These award functions are the biggest curse on young talents, and the talents end up getting frustrated mostly during these award shows or the after parties that follow. Take my instance itself. That day when the awards happened, when Shahid and Shahrukh took a dig on me, I literally was confused and began to have an impression, did I actually belong here? Because what happened that day, though I couldn't publicly display my emotions, only I know deep down in my heart how I felt and how I got over it. With all this said and done, let's not get into the details of how the Khans gained monopoly or the notorious nature they possess. Let's now, okay. With all this and said, done, let's now get into the details of how the Khans gained monopoly or the notorious nature they possess. Amir Khan. Amir Khan has this vicious habit of spitting on the hands of his heroine and is known to be the real prankster on the sets of the movie. There is not one heroine on whose hands he has not spit. And when asked about it, he says, whosever hands he has spit, they have instantly become famous. Not just this, the Mr. Perfect, so as the term Amir Khan has coined, is a highly religious person and is always in one way or the other trying to propagate Islam and look down upon other religions. He is closely connected to Turkey and some other connections of his where his agenda is very clear around the Islamic State angle. And these points are not taken up, never discussed, or even no one on earth is least bothered even to cover such points. At the end of the day, if someone wants to, then he is purposely trapped into a web of controversy, and it becomes increasingly difficult for the person to get out of it. Like in my case, when I decided to stand up against what was wrong, I was trapped in the Padmavat fiasco. This is what happens. These people, as I said, are so closely connected, but to the public eye, they act as if they are at constant war with each other. And this is why people fall a trap to their games. Shah Rukh Khan. This man was a no one some years back, but now with name, fame, and money, has become a monster. Most of us should be knowing this. Khan is behind so many kind of things that most of the times his wife steps in and puts a ban on him working with a certain actress. I don't want to go in detail about this topic now. Dirty secrets, my conscience speaks. So here, Binaji, I think you got a hope of, you got the hint of who all he was talking about.
Mentioning, yes. I think
Yes.
most of the people have an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll just cover one more slide.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, if there are any brief questions, just for
Yeah.
5-10 minutes,
Yeah.
I'll cover and then I'll
Yes.
leave. Okay.
Mm. Mm. I'm just waiting for Deepti to come back with another slide. So please bear with us, viewers. Yes, that's what I'm trying to do, Rebati. I'm not taking any questions because it just, stops the flow of, reading it out. Yes, for those viewers who want to read it in detail, it's there available on Twitter in her Twitter handle. The only reason that I wanted her to read these excerpts is because many of us found it a little difficult to read them, and we felt that, see, when you read it out, vocally on our channel, it becomes much more clear for the viewers who are looking for even a small straw of justice for Sushant. Yes, Deepti.
I had given a brief introduction to Divya Bharti in my initial slides, but now I will go ahead with the entire case and total details of it. I am sure and won't be surprised that your mind will blow up when you are going to read this. The reason Divya Bharti married Sajid was because she wanted to get to roots of the wrongs that were happening in the industry. It's great shame on us that only the times changed and the structures of the body and the position of the individuals grew. But the society still remains there, only in cheat, corruption, greed, jealousy, and treachery. According the reports I have from a very trusted and noble source, Divya Bharti had doubts on four people. I won't name the four, but will describe them in hints. 1. Music. 2. Is obvious. 3. Mr. Hot. 4. Hein.
Mister?
If you
Mister?
have got who the
Deepti ji, can you just
hot
repeat the four names again?
music, okay, so I think he refers to T Series or Gulshan Kumar
Yeah.
or Nadeem Shravan
Right,
from
right.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Is obvious. Is obvious is Mr. Hot is Sanjay Dutt, obviously.
Yeah.
Hai is should be Hai. I mean, we have of Agnipat,
Yeah.
Bachchan Saab, Big B. Okay. So is obvious. I think I have tried. I had some. Just a second. Okay. It's Sajid Nadyatpal, obviously. If he's saying Sajid because he has already mentioned Sajid, so it
Yeah.
must be
So
Sajid.
just that, can you just read that sentence again before that?
Okay. According to the reports I have from a very trusted and noble source, Divya Bharti had doubts on four people. I won't name the four, but will describe them in hints. 1. Music. 2. Is obvious. 3. Mr. Hot. 4. Hein.
Okay.
Okay. If you have got who the four are, great. If not, you will know when the Pandora box opens. The girl, who was determined to get to the roots of it, discussed it out with me, and I did not have much of an idea how to guide her, but then she herself said if she has to do it, she has to get into it. These were her very early days in Bollywood. The trusted source told me that this person with whom she discussed was like a senior figure to her. And when the source met him, 2012 to 2013, the source was not in the right frame of mind to discuss it out with her, which made the source have more doubts that it was a murder. However, I will come to it a little later. But according to this persona, Divya was a very, very sharp girl and used to understand the entire context of any subject with the slightest of the hint, and started her work on following the trail. And after some rounds of initial research, she cornered out on Sajid Nadiadwala that if she is wanting to clear this mess out from the root of it, then she is getting married to Sajid Nadiadwala so that she can have a close look at how things are happening and how she can get to her goal without overexposing herself or having any problems whatsoever. And to the wildest of her fears, when she met me some days after her marriage, her doubts were true. And it was not just these four, but a whole lot of people who were directly involved. And about this, she was very, very disturbed, as the society had glorified them as heroes or role models. I want to tell here that before anyone comments, these are the words of the source that he had contacted.
Yes.
Okay, these are not the words of Sushant.
SSR.
He had not met her. Yeah, he
Yeah.
had not met her, or she hadn't told him that. Clearly, here it is written that the source was not in the right frame of mind. Told me that this person with whom she discussed. Okay, so these are the wordings of that person.
Yeah.
All right. So she wanted to expose the connection between the human trafficking and something major that was about to happen in Mumbai. And with a small time, and within a small time, fellow co-star, I'm sorry, I'll repeat this again. She wanted to expose the connection between the human trafficking and something major that was about to happen in Mumbai. And with a small time fellow co star, she was doing her own bit of research by doing all that she could so that she could understand two codes that had become the biggest question mark in her life. Okay, so here when he says something major that was about to happen in Mumbai, we must remember that just 1 month after Divya's death or before Divya's death, Mumbai blast happened. Okay, so most obviously he's referring to the Mumbai blast here. All right. And most of the things that he has covered in these slides, actually. So he has covered, the A to Z of the entire syndicate. Okay. He mentions one of the slides. The ABCD of crime grows as follows: A. Adult trade. B. Benami black money and Bhadwagiri. C. Cheris cocaine. D. Death, the person who is the target. E. Explosives exclusively used during the 93 Mumbai. F. Firangi connections, ISI and other connections. G. Gundagadi, Danga Fasad, areas where mob violence has to be started. H. Hawala Hafta Vasuli, where the funding money can be collected, within brackets, Mafia Sag. I mean, these are the researches that he did, and he mentioned in the drives about them in detail as we go ahead. I for intoxication, chemicals used for honey trapping. J for jail. H, human trafficking. K, knockouts. L, litigation properties. M, money laundering. N, narcotics. O, open house, horse betting types. P, pimps network. Q, queens. This is a huge chapter to explain in a word or two. R, religious violence. S, settlement. T, terrorist network. U, underworld network. V, vicious activity. W, warehouses. X, extras. These are the people who are always there for everything. Y, yard. Z, everything. This is the
What is
ABCD
that?
of the
What is that?
Z is everything, everything else.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh,
Okay.
that's really in detail, very much in detail.
This is the ABCD of the crime and is used in every context of the industry. And the industry uses this in letters, and these letters are used independent coding. This is like the Gayatri of crime and is used almost every day. And how it is used, I will tell you in the next few slides. And
Yes.
then you will know that these are not simple words, but
Yes.
is having a deep, deep, deep meaning in it. And at the end of the day, these are the alphabets that make the difference.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay, Minaji, today
Yeah.
I will end reading this
Absolutely.
slide.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your efforts, and viewers are so thankful to you, and a big thank you from my side as well for doing so much of work and enlightening us with these slides. So we'll see you in the next
Yes.
session. That is day after.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
Minaji.
you.
Thank you so much.
Happy.
Thank you.
Good
Yeah.
night.
Bye.